Hey everyone, so I have December's wrap up and January's TBR, so stick around. So I hope everybody had a great New Year's. I did for the most part, but yeah, enough of that. On to the books that I've read last month. So the first book that I ended up reading last month was The Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini. This was originally a November one, but a November TBR, but didn't get to it. Anyways, enough of that. It's about a boy named Amar who lived in Afghanistan before the wars, and it just explains his life before the wars, and then after, where he lived here in America, and you know, and what he has done afterwards. This was a good read. I gave this a 5 out of 5, and I definitely recommend. Actually, no, I didn't give it a 5 out of 5. I gave it 4.5. But I definitely would recommend this for everybody if you're up to it. The next book that I've read was The Last Coyote by Michael Connelly. It's about a homicide detective named Harry Bosch, who is suspended from work, and during that time he decides to take up a cold case, which is to solve his mother's murder. And after so many years, he just wants to know what exactly happened to her. So I gave this 4 out of 4, and anybody who loves mystery would definitely enjoy this. The other book that I've read was A Northern Light by Jennifer Donnelly, and it's about a 16-year-old girl named Maddie Goki who wants to go to New York and doesn't want to live in her hometown. During that time, she ends up working at a hotel, and while there, people have discovered a body of a woman named Grace Brown, which is an actual true story, except for the character of Maddie, which is fictional. And I thought it was really interesting, and I also gave this 5 out of 5. So anybody who's interested in, of course, like a mystery type thing will definitely enjoy this. I also read 3 ebooks, which, let me get that on really quick. The first ebook that I read was Pollyanna by Eleanor H. Porter. It's about a girl named Pollyanna, and she ended up having to live with her aunt after her father passes away, and she ends up changing the life of everybody in this town that she lives in, and plus finally her aunt. I give this a 5 out of 5. The next ebook that I read was The Dream Keeper by Mikey Brooks, and it's about 2 kids named Parker and Kaylee who ends up having to help a dream keeper named Vladimir to save the world from these evil things. Plus, also, not on top of the dream world, they also have to save the real world. And I also gave this 5 out of 5. The next ebook that I read was The Iron Jawed Boy by Nicholas Lee. It's one of, I don't know how many novels that he's planning on reading. It's about a boy named Ion who ends up at an academy for gods, and his world changes, and a lot of stuff happens, and it's about gods and goddesses, of course, but not like the Roman or Greek goddesses or anything like that. So yeah, that was my that was December's TBR. So quickly on to this month's TBR, which is, I'm gonna call it the month of change. The first book that I'm currently reading, which is A Walk on Her Shoes by Jim Zarowski. Now, this was last month's TBR, but I decided to put it in here really quick. But yeah, It's about, of course, really quick synopsis is about a man who ends up changing the world for real and builds schools and does other amazing things to help change, you know, the world from of poverty in across the seas and plus here in the United States. The next one that I'm reading is Under the Tuscan Sun by Frances May, which some of you might know is also a movie. And for those who don't know, it's about a woman named Frances May who ends up having a crappy life here in America, but decides, but ends up in Italy, and she sees a villa and loves it, and she ends up buying it and making it into her own, which is which is a good movie, hopefully, and I'm sure this would definitely be a good book. The next book I'll be reading is Faithiest by Chris Steed, which is about Chris, who who was formerly a Christian, but decides not to be a Christian, but decides to keep the faith. And after he's a gay man who is having a hard time with uh, you know with his religion and not being a religious person. So yeah, this should be interesting. And the last book I'll be reading, well, actually, no, the actual last hard copy book I'll be reading is French Women Don't Get Fat by Mir. It's kind of hard, but this is her name. It's about a woman who ends up going home to France after some time here in America, and she's big, and it's yeah, it's about her life getting it back together to where she really is, which is a very interesting read because it also provides French recipes, if you can barely see maybe, and that this is this was originally supposed to be for something else, but used for a craft, but I decided to look through it, and I couldn't do anything to it. And the last book that I'll be reading is an ebook. It's oh, which is The Count of Monte Cristo retold by Sherlock Holmes by Holy Ghostwriter, which is originally supposed to be last month's TBR, but I didn't really get to it, and decided to put it to this month. So yeah, and on to the next thing. Well, that's it, and I'm sorry that it was a little long. I try to make it as short as possible, but what can you do? So if you want, leave a comment down below to let me know what you're reading and what I should be reading along to. And if you like it, like what I'm doing, subscribe and like. And I hope you guys have, again, a Happy New Year. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Oh, here's to falling. I'm falling.